Hello everyone and welcome to the Sad Crime Channel. Today's story took place in Poland, in the town of Czeladź. Czeladź is populated by approximately 33,500 people. Despite its location in the post-mining region, the town is very popular among both tourists and locals. Czeladź is a town in southern Poland, located in the Silesian Voivodeship, within the Bedzin County, along the Brynica River. It is situated approximately 178 miles southwest of Warsaw, 6 miles north of Katowice, and 2 miles east of Bedzin. Anna Garska was born in December 1982. From an early age, she had an excellent relationship with both her parents and her sister, Agnieszka. As a little girl, she sang in the church choir and was also interested in sports. Despite being relatively short, she played basketball in primary school but eventually gave it up because she couldn't find her place in the team. She was too shy. Anna dreamed of growing up and starting her own family, where love and respect would be the top priorities. In 2004, she began studying at the University of Silesia in the Faculty of Administration. She still lived with her parents, and nothing indicated that this situation would change anytime soon. Her schedule, filled with studies and part-time work, left little time for making new acquaintances. However, this was about to change soon. Later in 2004, Anna met Marek online. He was 2 years older and studied law. On their first date, he gave her a rose. His eloquence and manners impressed her. It didn't take long for their feelings to blossom. Anna was completely smitten with him. Anna's mother noticed it too. She often listened to stories about the handsome law student with whom her daughter was spending more and more time. Marek also seemed to be in love. He assured her that he was serious about Anna and wanted to start a family with her. 3 years later, he proposed to Anna, and she said yes. The couple tied the knot in 2007. Despite being like fire and water, there was no doubt that their feelings for each other were genuine. With the cheerful and confident Marek by her side, Anna blossomed. She became more dynamic, bolder, and more sociable. She constantly smiled. It was clear that she was happy. Anna really wanted to have children. Unfortunately, despite their efforts, she was unable to get pregnant. Due to problems in this area, the couple's intimate life began to deteriorate. Sex became mainly about procreation, which particularly affected Marek negatively. However, when Anna finally informed him that she was expecting a child, he was very happy. In 2010, the couple welcomed a baby daughter into the world. Marek ultimately did not finish law school, but graduated from the officer training school in Szczytno, now the police academy in Szczytno. During this period, he worked as an officer at the municipal police headquarters in Katowice, dealing with economic crimes. Among his colleagues, he was well-liked and had an impeccable reputation. Everyone emphasized that he could keep his cool in any situation. Anna, on the other hand, thrived in her career, holding an administrative position at the social insurance institution in Katowice. Her supervisors highlighted her diligence, precision, and meticulousness. She was never late and took her responsibilities very seriously. It seemed that the Garska family's life was going perfectly. However, it was all just an illusion. The birth of their child caused Marek to greatly distance himself from his wife. He became cold, rough, and insensitive. All his affection was poured onto his daughter. He had no desire for intimate closeness. Whenever he could, he would leave to wander alone in the mountains. Anna tried to find some justification for all of this. She confided in her mother and sister. Anna's mother supported her daughter, explaining that marriages have their ups and downs. She liked Marek and hoped that the young couple would somehow work things out. However, that hope proved to be in vain. Anna began to suspect that her husband had a lover. This thought tormented her. She still loved Marek deeply. She kept his photo on her desk where she worked every day. She wanted to have a second child with him. She believed that everything would somehow work out. However, nothing of the sort happened. On the contrary, tension filled their household, and arguments occurred more and more frequently. It was the evening of July 7th, 2012. At 7 p.m., Anna was on the phone with her mother. She was in a good mood because she had spent the whole day with her husband and daughter, engaging in family activities. However, shortly afterward, an argument erupted between the spouses over a trivial matter: unwatered plants. The situation quickly escalated to the point where Anna grabbed a suitcase from the closet and began to pack. When Marek tried to stop her, she yelled at him not to touch her. She informed him that she was leaving. Around 10:30 p.m., she walked out of the apartment, saying she would return in a few days to pick up her daughter. The next day, Marek Garski called his in-laws and informed them of this unusual situation. He explained that he had tried to find his wife and bring her back home during the night, but to no avail. Therefore, he decided to calmly wait for her. Anna's parents were astonished. Such behavior was completely unlike their daughter, especially considering her strong bond with their 2-year-old granddaughter. She would never abandon her child in such a way. Parents tried to contact their child. "I wrote and called my daughter, but nothing. Her phone was active from Saturday, July 7th to July 9th. First in the area of Pola Street in Czeladz, where she lives nearby, and then in Katowice. The phone was active until 4 p.m. There were also no withdrawals from the bank," the distraught mother told one of the newspapers. At first, Marek didn't want to report the matter to the police. He claimed that it wasn't worth bothering law enforcement with a trivial marital argument that would soon likely resolve itself. Pressured by his in-laws, he eventually went to the police station on July 9, 2012. Anna's parents, who were helping to care for their granddaughter, couldn't believe how cool and composed he was. He showed no interest in the police investigation. He didn't participate in the search efforts, even though the elderly couple searched the bushes in Czeladz on their own. It was as if he wasn't at all concerned about his wife's sudden disappearance. Over time, his relationship with his in-laws deteriorated. Marek stopped accepting their help and reacted with anger when they still appeared at his daughter's preschool. Meanwhile, they had already noticed some disturbing details: a new bathroom mat, new bedding on the bed, and an emptiness in the part of the closet where his wife's belongings used to be. Initially, Anna Garska's case was handled by the officers from the district police headquarters in Bedzin. After a few months, the investigation was taken over by the provincial police headquarters in Katowice. Meanwhile, Anna's parents did everything they could to determine their daughter's whereabouts. They even sought the help of a famous clairvoyant. However, his vision proved to be of little use. Despite the efforts put into unraveling the case, the investigation made little progress. It seemed as though Anna Garska had literally vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. On that fateful evening, no neighbor saw a distressed woman dragging a heavy suitcase behind her. Is it possible that no one heard the wheels rattling on the sidewalk? Is it possible that a young mother who loved her daughter so much simply left her? Ultimately, is it possible that Anna would subject her own parents, with whom she had always had a very good relationship, to such tremendous stress? Due to all these doubts, the officers decided to take a closer look at Marek himself. During the investigation, disturbing facts came to light. On June 26, 2012, Marek Garski carefully studied police procedures regarding missing persons. The next day, he visited a doctor requesting sleeping pills. Shortly afterward, he went to a hardware store where he purchased a pair of gloves, a rope, 4 bags of mortar, and 5 70-liter garbage bags. However, the real breakthrough came with the discovery that since November 2011, he had been regularly cheating on his wife with a coworker. He convinced his mistress that his marriage was a sham, that he had long ceased all intimate contact with Anna. He didn't spare bitter words of criticism towards her. On the other hand, he invited his new lover to the apartment he shared with the mother of his child. He also took her on a May holiday trip to the mountains. One day, the mistress made Garski realize that if they were to divorce, the court would hold him responsible for the breakdown of the marriage. Under the influence of these words, Marek began to fear the losses he could incur as a result of a potential legal process, damage to his reputation, and the obligation to pay alimony. In March 2015, Marek filed for divorce, supporting its justification by claiming that Anna had left him and their daughter, leading to the breakdown of their marital relationship. However, Marek couldn't enjoy his freedom, and he wasn't granted the opportunity to rebuild his life with a new partner, as the court dismissed the petition after just a few minutes of Marek's argument. Even if Marek had obtained a divorce from his missing wife, he wouldn't have enjoyed his freedom or a new life. In September 2015, he was arrested on charges of murdering his wife. In August 2016, the prosecution handed over the indictment to the district court in Katowice, based solely on circumstantial evidence. The case lacked crucial evidence, namely the body of the missing woman. Without it, it was difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was the husband who took her life. Despite this, investigators concluded that the tragic event occurred on July 7, 2012, between 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. The crime scene was the bathroom. Anna was sitting in the bathtub. Her husband approached her and either struck her in the head or strangled her. He was driven by a general aversion towards his wife, fueled by the prospect of failure in the event of a divorce. Afterward, he put Anna's body into a suitcase and then buried it. To deflect suspicion and make the version of a domestic dispute more plausible, Marek first recorded himself multiple times on Anna's voicemail. "Don't mess around, come home," he pleaded. Then he put her phone into an envelope, drove to a 24-hour post office in Katowice, and sent the device to a random hostel in Munich. He wanted to prove that Anna had indeed run away from her family. However, the package returned to Poland due to an address error, and the deception was exposed. It's worth noting that as early as 2013, Garska underwent a lie detector examination. The test aimed to determine if the man knew anything about his wife's mysterious disappearance. The subject showed an exceptionally strong reaction to the question of whether Anna had been drowned in the bathtub. Marek reacted similarly to the words "your apartment," "bag," and "suitcase." On September 7, 2018, the defendant was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 15 years in prison. In August 2019, the appellate court in Katowice increased this sentence to 25 years. Egocentric, expressing his feelings indirectly, strongly self-controlled and disciplined, perfect in action. Due to satisfying his ego and avoiding the consequences of marital infidelity in case of divorce, he chose the cruelest solution, stated the judge of the district court. Less than 2 years later, the Supreme Court dismissed the appeal of Garska's defenders as clearly groundless. Anna's body was never found, despite searches not only in the vicinity of her home, but also in nearby water reservoirs. There was speculation that the remains were within a radius of several miles from Czeladź. The care of Anna's little daughter was taken over by her sister Agnieszka. Thank you for listening until the end. Goodbye. Take care.